recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios, Meanjin, Brisbane.
On 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Zed Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture. Want to reach out?
Share your hot take?
Or do you just want to share your favourite game?
Find us on socials at Zed Games AU.
Hello, you're listening to Zed Games. My name is Zahra, and with me in the studio tonight is...
Hazel.
And...
Maylee.
Hello, how are you two tonight? How are you two tonight? There we go, that's
Chilly.
a sentence. It is getting cold. It's getting
nice
cold.
and warm in here compared to outside.
Which is like...
It's a weird contrast because it's freezing in here in summer.
Yeah. We have to keep the studio equipment nice and cool. And when it's summer, it's probably the best place to be in Brisbane, honestly.
Yeah.
It's ice cold in the studio.
It's freezing, but not tonight. Tonight my heart is warm and I am excited to talk about gaming news and reviews. So why don't we just hop into the news, shall we?
Let's go for it.
Let's go.
This week in video game entertainment news. After years of promise, CD Projekt Red have finally released Red Kit for The Witcher 3, a comprehensive and more polished set of tools originally used by the developers to create the game. Available on PC, the tools allow modders unprecedented access to the game's scripting, environmental, animation, and gameplay tools, along with integration with both Steam Workshop and Nexus mods. The tool is free to use for anyone who owns the game. Not to be outdone, however, modders Robotronic and Arthur Tilley have released Mario Builder 64, a level editor for Mario 64. Impressively, the level editor can run on real Nintendo 64 hardware with the use of a flash card, and of course, your own personally dumped legal ROMs. That time of year is approaching again, wherein we are inundated with gaming announcements from a variety of conferences, now headlined by Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest, which is scheduled to air on Saturday, June 8th at 7 AM Australian Eastern Standard Time. The event has over 55 partners showcasing their wares and will be followed by other events such as Day of the Devs, Wholesome Direct, Future Games Show, the Xbox Games Showcase, a Nintendo Direct, and Ubisoft Forward, along with others. Known times and dates will be added to the Zed Games event calendar, which you can find at our website. Rumours have been flying around Valve's next title, and while we generally don't report on rumours, it does help when there are lots of hands-on reports, screenshots, and even video of the unannounced game. Deadlock is a 6 vs 6 third-person hero shooter with elements of Dota and Overwatch. No word on when Valve will officially announce it, but try to act surprised when they do. Despite an 11th hour change blocking the release of Ghost of Tsushima's PC port in 180 countries and regions, the game has had a tremendously successful launch. The game is now PlayStation's biggest single-player launch ever on PC, surpassing the 2022 release of God of War. Nintendo, not normally in the news for acquisitions, have acquired Shiver Entertainment from Embrace. The developer has recently specialised in ports to the Nintendo Switch, including Hogwarts Legacy and Mortal Kombat 11. There's a trailer out for Elden Ring's DLC, Shadow of the Erdtree. That's it. That's the whole story. Go watch it. Upcoming game releases. May 24th will see Haunty for Xbox platforms, PlayStation platforms, Switch and PC, the remake of Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door for Switch, and World of Goo 2 for Switch, PC and Mac. May 29 will see the re-release of Multiverses for PlayStation platforms, Xbox platforms and PC, while May 30th will bring Nine Souls to PC. That's all this week in video game entertainment news.
Thank you so much for the week in gaming news, Paul. I feel extremely informed. How about
I'm
you
so
two?
informed. I know everything about games.
I know everything about games. How about you, Maylee?
I
Were you
just
paying
know
attention?
a couple of things about games.
Oh, you
what are you
should
doing in here?
I was listening to the news. I only picked up a few things.
Well,
Okay.
let's go over some
But
of
these
my
are all of
favorite
the
things. Look at
All of the things out.
yeah, we now
For this week.
for this week. Yeah. I'm pretty excited about the Red Kit mod kit thingo for Witcher 3.
Yes. So
I love support for the community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is something that Bethesda have. We actually do have to hand it to them here. Bethesda have been doing this since Morrowind, I think. All of their open world RPGs have come out with a creation kit a few months after release, which is like a polished modding tool that lets you go in and just you can like delete a crate,
Yeah.
or you can completely overhaul the game.
Yeah.
It's up to you. It just gives you so much access.
That's kind of a necessity for a lot of Bethesda games, though.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
And there are like unofficial community patches to make the games work properly.
Many, several, a few.
CD Projekt Red started doing this, I believe, a couple years ago with Cyberpunk. They released Red Mod, or Red Kit, I think it's called, which was their version of the creation kit. It's a really nice polished modding tool for a specific game.
Yeah.
And it gives you like total open access to all the game's files and stuff to mess around. And now they're doing it again with Witcher 3, which is maybe hinting that they're going to go back through their catalog, but I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a surprise. Like, I feel like Witcher 3, Witcher in general pops up like once a year and it's like, oh, hello, we're
You're still
excited.
here.
Yay, big swords, monsters. But like, mods are so much fun. And I do remember like the early days when I tried to get into like Minecraft modding and just like trying to troubleshoot things with my friends and play testing stuff. It's a great sense of community, and I'm really excited that's more accessible for more games, especially really big games as well. Speaking of games, are you too excited for Summer Games Fest?
That was an excellent transition.
It's gonna be a big game season. I feel like
Yes.
I'm feeling in the summery spirit.
Yeah, it's gonna be like we're gonna have like we've got Day of the Devs, Wholesome Direct, Future Game Show, the Xbox Games Showcase, Nintendo Direct, Ubisoft Forward,
I feel like Jeff Keighley has eaten the corpse of E3 and he has created this new thing, Summer Game Fest, and now this is just games.
He's just games.
Replaced E3.
It's just E3. We've recreated cable. We've recreated E3.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. What do you think is going to be a Switch 2 launch title, Maylee? I think it's going to be a Pokemon game because I can't fathom it being anything else now.
It's got to launch with a Pokemon game, otherwise nobody's buying it, right?
And they did have like a something to do with, what was it called again? In Lumiose City, which was I think X and Y. But I didn't really pay
X and Y 3.
Oh, I don't know. I was not paying that much attention, but
What will it be? The next Pokemon game, but what I want it to be is something set in the Pokemon world, but completely different, like a Pokemon
Witcher.
Yeah.
Yes.
A Pokemon Witcher. Oh my god. Okay.
Yes.
A Pokemon
so are you
dating sim where instead of beating the other trainers, you date them? I don't know.
Ooh.
Not dating the Pokemon.
We've got a more violent direction and a
Mr.
less
Mime.
violent direction. I like it.
Mr. Mime.
He's the secret option because all dating sims have a secret
Yes.
horrifying option.
I'm actually a little bit excited about Multiverses coming out.
Ooh.
Because the open beta was so long ago, I didn't get a chance to play it, and now we have a PS5, so maybe I will play it and become horribly addicted to a fighting game again.
And wouldn't that be slay? Speaking of slay things, my name is Zahra, and with me in the studio tonight is Hazel and Maylee.
Hi.
And Maylee, you've got to tell us something, don't you?
I have to tell you my story.
Oh, what a smooth segue that was. All right, take it away, Maylee.
story. Recently, I picked up the game Tell Me Your Story.
Ooh.
I almost called it Tell You My Story. I confused myself. It is a short and sweet puzzle adventure game.
Ooh.
I don't know why I called it an adventure. It's not an adventure game. It
I
just
think
felt
puzzles,
like a little adventure.
Puzzles can be an adventure, though. Like, you go on
They
a
can.
journey. You can go on a journey.
They can.
In Tell Me Your Story, you play as Amelia, a young girl helping her grandmother unpack into her new home. While organising through her belongings, you discover keepsakes from Grandma Rose's travels, and then she tells you about the adventures behind these items that took her across the globe, from the Amazon to China to Paris. Is that how you say it? Paris?
I believe that's how...
Paris.
Gay party.
It has really beautiful hand-drawn art. The colours are nice and warm and everything's bright, but it also feels really soft and cozy. It's made it that, like, every time I loaded up the game felt like loading up a storybook.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really, really nice art. It also has great sound effects.
Okay.
They're nothing like crazy or unique, but it's just, you know, when you slide the piece in and it does the little click.
Oh,
they were
yeah.
so satisfying in this game. I loved it. That's my favorite part of this
Yeah.
game. The
Yeah.
little satisfying clicks.
Yeah. We love
So-
clicks, we love slides, we love clunks, we like thunks, we like flonks,
Yes.
thump, and...
Honestly,
Whatever
I
that
feel
is.
like I spent like several minutes talking about Jeff Van Dyke's sound design in Unpacking of just like the click, clunk, clunk,
Yes.
clunk,
Oh,
clunk.
yeah.
It can be
Good
very,
memories.
it's very. I feel like it's very integral to like any kind of game that's, well, I guess Zen. It's
Yeah.
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 It's just
It
like
needs to be
constant-
satisfying.
Good
Yeah,
stim for the ears.
exactly.
There's no dialogue in this game
Oh.
either, so it's just some soft music, some nice sound effects, and pictures. Everything is told through pictures. It helps sort of sink into the storybook world, but it's also, you know, makes it more accessible. They don't have to come out with different languages because there's no languages.
I wonder if people would have like a sort of a different interpretation of some of like the stories if that was the case.
Possibly. There are a few like points where dialogue is written on the screen, but it's not like it's like hello written in 5 different languages.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
There's no conversation.
Yeah. Okay.
The conversation, the story of the game is told through the puzzles and the pictures. So Grandma Rose's stories are presented as low-stakes puzzles with a pretty broad range of mechanics. The game isn't too long, but they're pretty varied. They aren't the sort of puzzles you can fail, so you get to play around with what you're shown until you find the usually satisfying solution.
Usually.
Yeah, unfortunately, the puzzles are a mixed bag. Generally, they are pretty easy. Some are unclear or
And
required such specific solutions that it drove me a little mad.
Right.
Oh, I have this problem with point and click adventure games.
It's that exact.
It's like, how would I ever have figured out that without like looking up the wiki? My
or
brain just isn't wired for it.
you do something, you figure out the correct answer, you put it in, but you have it like 99% and not 100%, so you give up on that answer. The frustration of this really took me out of the relaxing experience sometimes, and that is worsened when the hints are just more confusing pictures. Because the story is told entirely through pictures, the hints are also just minimalistic diagrams that may or may not convey what you actually need to be doing. It definitely fits the game's aesthetic, and I thought it was cool at first until I actually needed the hints for something. And some puzzles, it was just too great. There was even one occasion where I had to look up the solution to a puzzle online and found that, like, everyone else, every single person, the forums were full of people complaining about this one specific puzzle.
You started typing it, and Google just auto-completed to like puzzle number 300. What is the answer? Please help, God, I'm dying.
And the solution it gave me was really stupid. I was mad at the end.
Oh no.
I don't think they're meant to be particularly challenging puzzles. They're just poorly designed. I wish they devoted a little bit more time to making these puzzles clearer, because it disappoints. It's disappointing in an otherwise really lovely game. I was playing on the Switch, and I found that some of the puzzles were difficult because of the joystick controls. I did remember that the Switch has a touchscreen, and it's the first time in my life I've used the Switch touchscreen.
Oh my god!
I keep forgetting this as well, though. I can't.
Fair
I don't
enough.
blame you. I forget.
So if you want to pick up this game on the Switch, use the touchscreen.
It has sticks. Why would it also have a touchscreen?
Anyway, fun.
Back to some more positives, because
Yes.
I did enjoy this game overall. As you complete the levels of this game, you earn stickers of items or scenes from the levels. And once you complete a chapter, a whole story, you get to place all the stickers into your diary. It's a small little thing, but I thought it was such a lovely way to tie it all together, and it really made me feel cozy. Put my stickers in the diary. So I had some issues with this game, but I also really liked this game. I think if you're looking for something relaxing that you can finish pretty quickly, like I said, 1 to 2 hours, Tell Me Your Story is probably worth checking out. You can grab it on Nintendo Switch or Windows, but maybe wait for a sale because it could be kind of expensive for the game time.
Yeah, especially if the puzzles are a bit lackluster.
Most of them were good. I'd say 85% were good. 10% were a little janky, and 5%.
If I could get my hands
still
on.
not great numbers, but
Yeah.
I mean, well, look, games.
yeah,
Games.
it happens.
Games.
I picked it up for only a few dollars, so I can't complain that much.
And
Small studio, a few dollars. I had a good time.
Yeah, and it's such a beautiful little concept as well, like telling a story through the puzzles with like no dialogue, and like the look of the game is so warm and comforting. It's been perfect for this cooler weather.
Apart from the few puzzles I had issues with, it really does convey the story very well through the puzzles.
Fantastic.
It's a good game.
Oh,
Nice.
lovely. Thank you so much for sharing, Maylee. That was a nice little review.
I hope you enjoyed my story.
And with that,
So you're listening to Zed Games, is that it?
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Hello, you're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games. You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good evening, listeners, old and new. My name is Zahra, and you're listening to Zed Games. Some of you may be familiar with our voices, and that over time, many of us have come and gone, usually onwards to bigger and better things. But one of those voices has left us permanently. I am sorry to say that Cameron Davis, passed away on the 17th of May. He was surrounded by loved ones, and I extend my deepest sympathies to his family, friends, and really all who knew him. Some of you may know him as the Commodore 64 guy, and he was definitely that guy. But outside of his time with Zed Games over his 49 years, he had a long and storied history in video games and games journalism, and had established himself in every community he was a part of as a beautifully warm, friendly, and funny guy. I, of course, know him best through Zed Games. You've heard his sassy news delivery, you've heard his wonderful reviews, and you've witnessed the times he's dunked me for being a Sonic fan. During our initial interview, I felt like I was talking to a friend I hadn't made yet. I'm not even too sure what we talked about, and I am glad I was able to be friends with him. Listeners, you've only heard what he says on air, but during our music breaks, he always took a bit of time to compliment someone's review, maybe dive a bit more into understanding someone's passion. He always made you feel like what you have to share is valuable and welcome. And when I'd thank him for his work in the show, he'd thank me, as if I did him a favour. Really, we were privileged to have known him. Cameron was who I wanted to be when I grow up. Someone who has a passion and shares that passion wholeheartedly and warmly. Next week, we'll be reflecting and remembering Cam and his time with us. So, listeners at home, play that game that made you fall in love with games. Invite some friends. Make a night of it. I love you all. Stay safe. Good night.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Everybody, say goodbye.
Bye. Love
See
you.
ya.
Bye. Love you. Bye, everyone. Love you. Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Thanks for listening to Zed Games. If you'd like to listen to more, you can find us on the Community Radio Plus app, or find us on socials at Zed Games AU. See you next time.
Bye. Love you.